Breaking news out of Cape Coral. Police are there investigating after a child was shot early this morning. Gulf Coast News takes you live to the scene.
Plus, right now, Gulf Coast News is working to find out what happened after a body is pulled from the Caloosahatchee.
And an accused child stalker is off the streets and facing charges. We'll tell you what troopers say he did to land him in handcuffs.
Right now, Gulf Coast News staying on top of breaking news as Cape Coral police arrested at least 2 people after allegedly shooting a child early this morning.
Police have been along Skyline Boulevard near Southwest 31st Street and Southwest 31st Terrace since around 5:30 this morning. That's where Gulf Coast News reporter Lacey Lee joins us live. So, Lacey, what else have you learned?
Lisa Allen, we have learned that child is now recovering in the hospital after being shot. And right here behind me is exactly where it all took place. We saw a car sitting right here in the middle of the road here along Southwest 31st Street and Skyline Boulevard. But let's go ahead and take a look at the scene where the shooting happened at 5:30 this morning as many people were heading to work or even school. Several officers lined the area, blocking neighbors from going in and going out as they investigated. Detectives had their attention on this gray SUV and evidence not too far from the car. We also saw K9 units and the forensics team out here searching the area as well. And detectives say they do have 2 people in custody as they are still working to find out if they have all parties accounted for. And once we receive any updated information, you can count on Gulf Coast News to bring it to you. And for now, reporting live along Skyline Boulevard in Cape Coral, Lacey Lee, Gulf Coast News.
More breaking news. We're working to find out who died after a body was pulled from the Caloosahatchee and Fort Myers. This happened between the Caloosahatchee Bridge and the Midpoint Bridge around 9 this morning. We know the person was taken to the yacht basin. Fort Myers police confirmed the medical examiner will now determine how the person died. This is a story Gulf Coast News will continue to follow.
At least 28 people are hurt after a car ran into a crowd in Munich, Germany, in what leaders are now calling a suspected attack. The driver of the car was detained and identified as a 24-year-old man from Afghanistan. The man is known in the area, connected to drug and theft crimes. An investigation is underway to determine if this was done on purpose.
A killer is set to be executed this evening after murdering a Charlotte County couple in 1997, and this will be Florida's first execution of the year. The murder happened when the couple and James Ford went on a fishing trip. Charlotte County investigators say Ford killed Greg, Kimberly, Malnori, and then left their 2-year-old daughter Miranda at a sod farm. Miranda was alone, just feet away from where her parents were killed. She was covered in her mother's blood in what appeared to be a final attempt to save her daughter.
I had the case files somewhere, but it was hard to read to stomach because I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that's what happened. Like, I had no idea. I wasn't even 2 yet. I said, I have no recollection of any of what happened.
Ford beat Greg and shot him, then slit his throat with what looked to be an axe. Kimberly was beaten, raped, and shot. DNA from the scene tied Ford to the case. Ford has tried to appeal his sentence, but it's been rejected. Gulf Coast News anchor Peter Bush will be at the execution this evening.
A man from California now facing several charges for allegedly trying to lure a girl who's 12 years old from her apartment on Ortiz Avenue. The girl's father flagged down a trooper along Ortiz and MLK Jr. Boulevard in Fort Myers. Troopers later arrested this man, Thomas Carba. Has prior arrests for assault, attempted rape, and kidnapping. He's now facing a slew of charges for loitering, prowling, stalking, and several others.
An accused suspect from Polk County is recovering today after 2 law enforcement officers shot him outside a Fort Myers restaurant. That shooting happened yesterday afternoon at Mel's Diner off US 41. A U.S. Marshal and a Fort Myers police officer, both part of a task force, shot Miles Strickland outside of the restaurant. Now, U.S. Marshals did not tell us what led up to the shooting, but they say Strickland was wanted for armed burglary and grand theft out of Polk County. This video shared with us shows the moments Strickland was shot.
I was more worried about my girlfriend and all of that, making sure that hopefully no one came into the building, started trying to shoot up after, all the incidents that's going on with the world and all.
The manager of Mel's Diner tells us she's certainly grateful no one was hurt. Diner right now is back open for normal business hours. Gulf Coast News will keep you updated as soon as we learn more information about this case.
From your Charlotte County News team, a registered sex offender is accused of breaking into a Port Charlotte home while a woman was sleeping. Deputies say Christopher Horvath said a group of bikers, possibly white supremacists, surrounded him at a neighbor's house and threatened to beat him up because he is a pedophile. Fearing for his life, he says he had no other choice but to enter the woman's home. Deputies say he broke into the home along Dowling Avenue Northeast. The woman then found him inside the kitchen and yelled at him to get out, then dialed 911.
Oh, Jesus. That's very scary. That's upsetting. Wow. I can tell you, it gives you an eerie feeling, but wow, I just don't know what else to say. It's scary. I have children, in the house.
You know, that home is less than 300 feet away from Higgs Park. Deputies arrested Horvath at a friend's home next door. Deputies say they also found a pair of pink women's underwear in his pocket. Well, right now, Gulf Coast News is working to find out what led up to a car crash overnight in Lehigh Acres. It happened just before 4 a.m. along Joel Boulevard and 10th Street East. Joel Boulevard was shut down for several hours. This is video from the scene. Deputies tell our crew there one person was taken to the hospital.
We're also trying to find out what happened right before a rollover crash involving an FWC truck. This happened overnight in Collier County on I-75, just south of the Pine Ridge Road exit. So I want you to take a look at the vehicle from overnight. Look at that FWC truck on its side. There are also other vehicles involved. We know this is a construction zone. We do have questions into Highway Patrol, and when they give us more answers, we'll let you know.
Well, if you live in Collier County right now, you could face a $15,000 fine if you violate the county's burn ban. Earlier this week, commissioners approved a burn ban in all of unincorporated Collier County. That means all outdoor burning is off limits, including burning trash, yard debris, or open fires. The only exception is commercial agriculture burning.
The drought index for Collier County right now is in the mid-500s, right around 550. That gets concerning, and as we approach 600 and higher, it's even more concerning. An example would be last year, our burn ban was instituted on May 2nd. So we're way ahead.
All right, so people can still grill outdoors, but are urged to keep a hose or a fire extinguisher nearby. Also, avoid any open flames near dry brush. The ban remains in effect until conditions improve.
If you normally go to Fleischman Park in Naples, heads up, the playground is closed today for maintenance, but it will reopen again tomorrow. Well, Lee County teachers are honored by the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools and McDonald's at their annual Golden Apple Breakfast. The breakfast is to honor the 2025 Golden Apple finalists. It was at the McDonald's along Colonial Boulevard near Metro Parkway. 30 teachers are nominated for this year's award, and we talked to the district about the extensive nomination process.
We submit an application that goes to our Golden Apple Selection Committee, and they rank them based on a lot of different things that are in the application process.
It really is extremely extensive. Then after going through all of the nominations, the Golden Apple Selection Committee chooses 6 Golden Apple finalists. They then receive a $3,000 cash prize, and the money is also sent to their school as well.
Boat owners in Cape Coral say they're getting frustrated after the city said you can't park your boats in the front or even the side of your house. Talks of allowing boat owners to park their boats in their driveways were denied. It was brought to the city council last month by council member Lori Lehman. Boaters have to park in the right areas or they could be fined.
Well, I think that's a little bit of pain in the butt. It depends on if they live on the water, in fact, but primarily they're going to have to do that because our parking is so limited around Cape Harbor right now.
Boaters are not allowed to park their boats in vacant lots either.
The city...
Car washes and storage units, enough already. I mean, it's ridiculous.
The city of Cape Coral says they want to gather more information first to possibly reevaluate the district's boundaries in northwest Cape Coral around Burnt Store Road. The city wants to make sure what's being built there is what's the best fit for the area's future. The council is in the early phases of discussing a land use amendment that could establish regulations for future businesses. This would be along Burnt Store Road between Van Buren and Calusa Parkways. Family we spoke with says they're moving because they say there's nowhere for their son to work.
I mean, look around. It's like desolate. And when they are building, it's just homes, and that's it. So meantime, there's no economy. Your taxes are going up. Why? Because you're on the water?
The city paused discussions on the amendment, and until they set a date on when to continue discussions, the future of Burnt Store Road remains uncertain.
Today, FDOT is hosting a public meeting to discuss the Palm Beach Boulevard study. It's looking at Palm Beach Boulevard from I-75 to Veronica Shoemaker Boulevard. FDOT is inviting you to a public review of the study. Also, provide potential short and long-term improvements to the road during their transportation talks meeting. That meeting starts at 5:30, goes to 7:30 this evening at Chandler Park Suarez Hall in Fort Myers.
Well, like our temperatures, spring training is warming up for the Grapefruit League. And we'll share what to expect also from our FGCU Eagles.
The show would truly not be able to run without them.
Plus, everyone's heard and knows of Saturday Night Live, but regardless of the cast, there's one hidden essential element to a successful show. Wait until we tell you what it is.
And we desperately need the rain. I'll show you how much rain we're going to get the next few days, and we'll take a look at our updated drought monitor.